Okay, welcome to another interview, but this time it's the way around. So I have the honor to interview Karin Weyrich, and I'm really looking forward to the next couple of minutes because I'm so interested what her life is and what she's doing and what her business is and so on. So I'm looking forward to get to know her better. So please, Karin, would you like to introduce yourself first before I start with my questions?
Hello, Laura. Thank you very much for this interview and for your interest in me and my doing. Well, my name is Karin Weyrich, and what I do is I help people to come along with their relationship, with their illnesses, disease, and with their fears, and especially to have a nourishing sexuality.
Great, quite interesting. So I had a look around on your website so that I could prepare myself to ask you questions that the our viewers get as much as possible informations about you. So my first question is, what is the most important component in your life, such as relationships or family or nature? What do you think?
Component. What is the similar word in German?
So what is the most important part in your life?
Part.
Part.
Ah. Um, the most important part in my life is nowadays um, to overcome all resistance, and even if it's very difficult outside, if there are situations or people that I just open my heart and I let it go through me. That's the most important part. I think I'm working it every day, every
Okay,
moment.
and how do you work on it?
Well, if there is something happening, what is it? It doesn't look that's how do you say? It's nourishing me. It could maybe hurt me. Then I just breathe and try not to judge it. And if the judgment goes away, it's just energy. It's probably pretty strong, but I just let this energy in and out. And there's almost no person um, I could hate or say it's not sympathetic, because it's just energy. And that is, I think, the most important thing I do every day and all the time.
And does nature help you to overcome this struggle?
Well, nature helps me a lot to be balanced, especially the nature in the mountains and rivers and ponds, and helps me a lot to stay balanced. Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So, and wait, why does nature play such an important role in your life? So, on your website, you tell about your childhood, that you were a lot of times of the day in out in nature, and that nature is kind of a great healer for you, for example. So it seems as if you were most of the time of your life and your common days and weeks outside somewhere, even today as an adult.
Well, today I'm not as much outside anymore, I think. But as a child, I was very often outside in all kinds of weathers, and it's true. Nature was my healer, and also nature had something like cosmic parents. The people around me when I was a child, they didn't really nourish me. They sometimes they they didn't really keep me like a child, and I needed this nature when I had an attack, especially with my grandfather. After this attack, nobody would really was interested in, and I was running to the creek besides our property, and I was sitting down under the bridge and took my shoes off and was sitting down in this creek, and I felt so hold and lead it, and so much abundance to this water and to the nature, and no human being could give me this.
Mhm. So that's this experience you took over to your adulthood, and you love to be in the mountains. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I read a quote, ein Zitat on your website,
Yeah.
a Laozi quote, and I translated it in English. It's called "The perfect man or woman adapts to the behavior of society without losing his or herself." And what does that mean in relation to your profession or to your job? What does that mean?
Well, it's really, I love this quote. Sometimes I'm struggling if it's really working, but sometimes I think it could. And well, but I also have experienced you can stay in a really horrible situation when you think it's really horrible, if it's in a relationship or a job, or you are somewhere a hold, you could really become free out of this. You could feel yourself free, and you can make it, even if the situation from watched from the outside is really dark and destructive, but you can change your inside, that it doesn't touches you anymore, and you can even do with your inside power and inside force to change the outside, to change the relationship, to change the work condition. That's what I experienced.
So that's what you mean by multiverse. So you talk to your clients about their multiverse. It's about empowerment. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about empowerment. Yeah.
Okay. So your work includes several topics, as I read. It's concerning relationships and sexuality. Would you like to tell me something about that? How do you
Um,
work with couples, for example? Do they come to your house and
well,
how's the
yes,
set?
they came to my praxis rooms before this world situation, and we were just talking together and finding out what is the condition and the relation with their uh, relatives, with their ancestors, and all these believing systems they have, and the synchronicity they had, and the disbalance, and then find out how we can balance this. Sometimes the couples came together, but sometimes only one person. One person is enough. If there is in a relationship only one person interested in a change of the relationship, it's very often it's enough.
Okay.
One person is working on him or herself, the other person will be involved even just by synchronicity.
Okay. And what is the difference and what is the unique point in your work compared to other therapy methods? What would you say?
Well, I don't know every therapy and method, but I think my kind of work is based on my own experiences. I have had experiences of special quality, and if people work with me, they can feel this. And if somebody has these experiences, and this is established in the aura, in the muscles everywhere, and other people, they can feel it and they can activate this condition in their own field, you know.
So there's much more than just talking.
Yeah,
It's also about energy that flows between you and your clients, so
yeah,
that they can participate on an energetic way of your experiences. Could I say this
well,
in that way?
it's kind of energetic, but any work with someone is energetic, you know. That's not particular, but it's not rare that you go to a therapist and you go with your trauma, and for example you have something experienced in your childhood what was really life bothering, and your therapist is working with you, but the therapist has never experienced it on his or her own. And when I work with people, I have experienced a lot of things by my own, and that makes a different how do you say, the environment of my aura or so, or my consciousness is slightly different when I have experienced it, you know.
So it's not just theory,
No,
like when
it's not just theory. And
yeah.
also I can also convince without words that everything is possible to get out of it. And because I have experienced it. If you have trauma in your childhood, and many people, they will hold onto it until the last breath. But I know you can change it in your lifetime, even how hard and destructive it was. And I have experienced it, and the people they work with me, they can feel without talking about. They can feel that I know this, and moreover, I have no judgment about anything what's horrible in human life, because everything is possible, dark and
So
light.
as I understand, and how could I say it, how I feel you, maybe I could say it like this. I would say this is kind of your unique selling point, so to speak, that that what you're talking about is something that you really know and that you really experienced.
Yeah,
So it's no theory, it's not a story somebody told you. It's out of your treasure box, your personal treasure box, that the your clients can participate. Is that right?
yeah, that's very nice how
Uh-huh.
you pronounce it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, and when you tell about that, it's your mood and your behavior changed, um, and you came out of your mind into your heart. That
Yeah.
was that. I could see that immediately.
Wow.
It's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what is about self-empowerment? You know, there's so many people who are talking about self-empowerment and, um, yeah, what is that about? You know, what does that mean, in fact?
Well, there are so many things. There are so many books and stuff about self-empowerment. As I experience it, a human being has always this behavior in the direction of being a victim, being a, how do you say Tater? Predator. The opposite of a victim is somehow predator. I don't know the word correct to spell it, and to solve to solve everyone to yeah, and all the time you change these roles, you know, between helping someone or betraying someone or running away and be fearful. And if you are in a moment where all of these are not present, you are just free of all them, and then you feel kind of um, self-empowered, you know. It's empowering if you are not drawn to help someone. You are not drawn to put someone down, and you are not drawn to feel put down from someone. And if you are free from these three, then you are self-empowered, and you can train this. You can train this all day long.
Okay, what would you, which kind of advice you would give a person who feels a lot of anxiety concerning the current situation? So you are not allowed to go outside. You are not allowed to meet your friends. You are not allowed. You are not allowed.
Yeah.
So how could I empower myself in this situation if the circumstances are like that?
Well, it's actually the most techniques and methods I recommend are very, very simple, you know, and and almost nobody would say that helps. But my experience is as simple as it is, it helps, you know. And the first thing what I do is I watch my breath. I just watch my breath. I concentrate on my breathing in and out, and I throw the breath longer and finer. And while I watch my breathing, there is no sorrow, there is no fear, there is nothing. There's only my breath and myself. And that's one thing. And the other is just do what has to be done, you know. If you have to do the dishes, then make the dishes. If you have uh, to throw the garbage down, just do it. Just do this what has to be done right now. And if you sit there and there's nothing to do, then watch your breath. Or do something what you really love to do, like gardening, like, I don't know, dancing or painting.
Mm. Yeah, that seems to be quite simple, but what about relationships? So, because social life is so important as well. And as I think about adolescents, for example, who are not allowed to meet with a peer group, um, who are not able to experience, for example, sexuality, because they don't meet any guys, boys or girls. But what would you which kind of advice would you give adolescents, for example? Because I have adolescent children, and I realize what is happening to them right now. What would you say with your experiences?
Well, with the children, I can't say just something in general, and it and to in general for people also, I just have to find out what is how is the fear, the fear of the person, in which direction is it going. At the moment we have three main parts of fear, the first, no, four, I think four, and everybody has a fear in a different direction, and we have to find out. There is one main stream of fear is to be to have anxiety, to to get sick. You have fear for
To die,
sickness,
maybe.
illness, disease. That's
Yeah.
one. The other one is they are very fearful about the vaccines. They think the vaccines they will harm them. That's the second. The third one is people are very fearful that we get a kind of military regime, something like this, yeah, dictator regime. And the fourth one is these people, they're very full of fear to become poor and living on the street.
Yeah.
And these are four fears. They're very dominant at the moment, and sometimes they mix, sometimes they overlap, and I have to find out what is the main fear this person has, and then and his personal how do you say, his personal thoughts and belief system, and then
Yeah.
I try to change this belief system, or to find out where it comes from.
Okay. So if I had parents, for example, with children or adults, I could tell them, if you need help, go to Karin, and she will help you.
Well, the parents have to come to me, not the children.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because the children just represent the fear and anxiety of the parents.
Yeah, that's a very important information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Because,
often.
yeah, okay. So I think your work is a um, very nourishing work. It's a very important work in these times. And I ask myself also, what is your why? Why are you doing that? What you are doing? What is the why behind your engagement? What is what drives you to do that? What you're doing?
Well, I like I like I like it very much when I meet people. They are really happy, and it's nice for me to see them smile and laugh and just to feel freedom. It's really something. I like this very much. That's why I go into the mountains and I do all this stuff, because I like to feel free and happy and playful. And that's what could happen if you work with me.
Okay. So it's about freedom for your clients as well. So is it also about maybe lifestyle or peace or healing, or is it a mixture, a melange of all these? components?
Well, lifestyle, I don't know. Everybody has a different lifestyle. And healing, actually, from my viewpoint, there is no healing necessary, you know.
Okay, that's interesting.
Everybody,
Why?
everybody is already um, uh,
Complete.
perfect, you know. Perfect is not the right word, but everybody is just right as this person is, and the illness or the disease is from my viewpoint most of the time only in the head, you know.
Okay.
You can sit there um, even paralyzed and you can't move your legs, but you could be really happy. And I know people, they are, you know, they had an accident and they are paralyzed and they they are so beaming because they love life. It's not, the disease is in your head and not in your body. And that's also I can even find out where it comes from, your head. Every disease has a resonance to your thinking. Every disease.
Okay. And would you agree when if I say that there are just two feelings? One is fear and the other is love. And if there's no love but fear, there could be kind of a disease coming out of the body because the the whole person would like to be whole and complete, but there's too much anxiety or fear. What would you say?
Well, I would say love and fear is not a feeling; it's a consciousness state, you know.
Okay.
And fear is very important. It's our teacher, you know. It's our master. And if somebody um, is not recognizing fear, it's more a problem than somebody who feels fear, you know. That we have a
Okay.
lot of people, they don't feel, they don't recognize fear. They think they are fearless, and I think they might have a more a problem.
Okay. And why? Could you explain it a little bit more, please?
Well, we live in a society of separation, you know, and in societies of separation, people with a masculine attitude to live their life, they have they have they have the tendency to to um, to uh, to ignore fear. They just ignore it. They don't recognize it. And the people in a um, in a separated society who live the feminine part, they they are overwhelmed by fear, you know. And these two parts of uh, people we have in every society, and the ones who are overwhelmed by fear, they they struggle with fear, but they at least they feel it, you know. And the other part they are ignoring. They are separated from this fear, and it's harder to come into this, you know. Is it understand? Was
Yes,
it?
of course.
Yeah.
I ask myself how that maybe it's this is one of the struggling uh, points concerning sexuality between people, women and men, or even women and women, however. Um, so that there's a masculine part that thinks or believes he has no fear, and the other part has too much fear. And how could they come together in a sexual way where you need a lot of trust and love and so on?
Well, the masculine way is to be present, to be very present. If there is a person living the masculine way, to get connected with the other person is to be present, very present, 100% present, to see, to hear, and to recognize everything. And the feminine part is love, and that's one thing. And the other is men. Many men have the how do you say Verletzung? They have the trauma, they are hurt in their heart, you know. Men have the pain and the trauma and the
Injury.
Men have the injury in their heart, and women most of the time in their womb, you know, in their sexual organs. And women, they cover up their sexual organs, and men cover up the heart, you know. Women clothe their yoni, and men clothe their heart. And well, if there is a woman who lives more the masculine way, she's closing her heart, but she has open her yoni. It depends what aspect she lives. And if a woman, a feminine woman, opens her yoni, and she has also opened her heart, then she could well, you can say heal, but she has the opportunity that the partner, the male, could open his heart, you know. It's always this synchronity, you know. It's always that there is a masculine person comes together with a feminine person. It could be two males, two women, or men and women. It depends, but all the time there is a masculine person and a feminine, and one person is covering and injuries in the genital, in the sex organs, and the other person has the injury in the heart. And if they can work together, opening up, then it works very easily. And it's accomplished with judgment, of course, judgment and viewpoints and all this stuff.
Yeah. Wow, so interesting.
Well, it's very
So
complex. It's very complex. The whole thing is even more complex. And the solution is most of the time very easy. But the relationships and all that, it's so complex, you can even not tell it in a few sentences, because a person is not only one human being. It's the whole ancestors behind. There are in this person, you know, not only the parents, the grandparents, there are many generations there in this person, doing and making and thinking and all this stuff. And if there are two persons together and having sex, you know, they have the whole ancestors in their bed. It's not only two persons, you know.
Yeah.
And if you can imagine this, then you understand why it could be very difficult, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
But if you can make, but if these two persons can make it that one person is just in love and the other person is just present, then they are really there. But
Yeah.
it's not easy, you know.
Mm.
There's one.
So
There's
couples should have a small bed, so that all the ancestors don't have any space to
oh,
come into the bed.
they have space on the smallest place. It's better
Yes.
to have a big bed. Better to have a large one. Then you have some. You can go in distance and so on. You don't have to stick all the time too close.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, so these are all my questions. If you want to tell us something more about you, I didn't cover with my questions, please tell us. I could listen to you for hours because now I realize how huge your experiences are. Thank you very much that you share it with
Thank
us.
you. Thank you for your questions. Well, um, I have said it already, but maybe it's a kind of conclusion. Um, Relationships are the most complicated thing on earth, relations. Um, and if relations don't work, it's so complex, and therefore we have all this trouble on earth. We have wars, we have poor people, we have a lot of manipulations. That's not only in the world, it's in every relationship, in every person, in every relationship. And if we can start in our own relationship, even the own relationship with myself, that's the first start. If you can go in harmony, it's not the right word, but in acceptance, that everything what is, you just accept it without judgment. That's a really good start. That's the best start you can make. I think it's even
Okay.
more helpful than going to Greenpeace and to save all the fishes and so on. If you start in yourself, with yourself, and with your next relationship, with a neighbor, with your boss, or so on, that's really very nourishing yourself and the whole environment of you.
Yeah. Okay.
And to solve, yeah, yeah,
Oh, go
and
on.
to solve or to change. They're very easy things, from the Buddhism, the Zen, the yogis. They have this some of these wisdom and knowledge. It's most of the time very easy in talking about, to talk about and to say how it goes, but to do it, it takes courage and strength and willpower sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes it feels as if you could not go to work or have a family and do all your all day stuff because there is so much to do to clear yourself, to get more clearance about yourself, to become more empowered. That I think it's a long lasting and life lasting work, isn't it? Or could there be an end somehow? So
Well,
when I will be 70, maybe I would be like Buddha, or I don't know.
well, that could happen, that tomorrow you are really in freedom and everything is fine. That could be, but it could be that it never ends. You never know, and I think you can really not force it. And it's not so difficult as it seems. When you are struggling, you say, well, I have a problem, I have this problem and that problem. But if you can overlook it, and it could start pretty soon, pretty fast, then you don't see problems, but you see challenges. And if you start to see challenges, then it's really fun, you know. It's really fun to have a challenge there and here, and you know, it's just the way of thinking. If you don't have problems anymore, you have just challenges, then it's a certain state of empowerment.
Okay. I think that's a quite nice last word, the state of empowerment. I really like this sentence, this expression. So, Karin, if you don't have to hinzufügen, oh God, it's so late now for me, to add something, I would say thank you very much, and was really interesting talk and interview. So I'm looking forward to deepen our relationship, hopefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.